People say that a father is a girl's first love. That he's her protector, her hero. For me, he was the first person who taught me fear. My name is Aisha. And this is the story of how I survived not just a broken home, but a father who tried to break me. I was born into what seemed like an ordinary family. My parents were young, just 22 when I arrived, and full of dreams they never said out loud. We lived in a small house on the outskirts of the city. The kind of house with peeling white paint, creaky floors, and a backyard that grew wild with dandelions. My earliest memories were filled with laughter, bedtime stories, and kisses on my forehead. My father would swing me around the living room, calling me his little star. My mother would bake cinnamon rolls on Sundays, humming softly as the morning sun spilled through the curtains. But not all smiles are forever. The change was slow, like watching water boil. You don't notice it at first. You just feel the heat. My father began drinking after losing his job. At first, it was quiet, a few beers during football games. But soon, the empty bottles piled up in the trash, and the man who used to cradle me at night started slamming doors instead. When I was 6, he hit my mother for the first time. I didn't see it, but I heard it. The crack of hand against skin. Her cry. The long silence after. I walked into the kitchen and saw her on the floor, holding her cheek, and my father staring blankly at the wall. "Mommy tripped," he said. I nodded, too young to question. That lie was the first of many. The violence didn't stop, it grew louder, meaner. My mother stopped smiling altogether. She stopped baking, stopped humming. Sometimes I'd catch her staring out the window like she was waiting for something, or someone, to come save her. She left when I was 7. One rainy morning, I woke up and her side of the bed was empty. Her clothes were gone. A note was left under my pillow. "My sweet Aisha. I had to go. I couldn't stay anymore. I'm so sorry I couldn't take you with me. I love you more than anything. Please stay strong. I will come for you. I promise." But she never did. After that, my father changed completely. The man who once sang lullabies now drank until his words slurred and stumbled through the hallway like a ghost in his own house. I became both his punching bag and his servant. If dinner wasn't made, I was slapped. If I looked at him the wrong way, I was yelled at. He'd scream my mother's name at night, then take it out on me the next morning. "You're just like her," he'd say. Useless. Weak. I learned to survive. I became quiet. Invisible. At school, I wore long sleeves, even in summer, to hide the bruises. I told teachers I was clumsy, that I fell off my bike or tripped on the stairs. I never invited anyone over. I never answered questions that felt too personal. I lived in constant fear. My room became my only safe space. I'd push my dresser in front of the door at night, just in case he came in drunk. One day, a teacher named Miss Reyna noticed. She saw the fading blue mark on my neck and the way I flinched when someone touched my shoulder. She didn't push. She just said, "If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here." Always. I didn't believe her at first. I didn't believe anyone could save me. Until the day I started writing. I found an old notebook in the back of my closet, pages yellowed, cover torn. I started writing everything. Every slap, every scream, every night I lay awake wishing I was anywhere but home. That journal became my escape. My voice. My proof. When I was 15, something happened that changed everything. My father came home furious, more drunk than I'd ever seen. He accused me of hiding money from him. I hadn't. I didn't even have $1 to my name. But he didn't believe me. That night, he threw a chair, smashed my phone, and grabbed me so hard I had bruises shaped like his fingers. I locked myself in my room and wrote everything down. The next morning, I handed the journal to Miss Reyna. She cried reading it. She called Child Protective Services. That day, I was removed from the house. I was placed with the Thompsons, a kind couple in their 50s who had fostered kids for years. They were calm, quiet, and let me have space. For the first time in years, I slept without fear. I ate 3 meals a day. I smiled again. But trauma doesn't leave quietly. I'd still jump at loud noises. I'd still wake up from nightmares where my father was standing over my bed. I went to therapy, slowly began to unpack everything I'd bottled up. I started excelling in school. I made friends. I even got a scholarship to study psychology. But then, he came back. When I was 17, my father was released early from prison on good behavior. He sent me a letter. "You think you're better than me? You ruined my life. You took away everything. But blood is blood. You can't run forever." I burned the letter. But I felt the fear settle back in like old dust. He started showing up near my school. I saw his car outside my campus dorm once, parked across the street. I told the campus police, and they started patrolling. I got a restraining order. But it didn't stop him from trying. He'd call from unknown numbers. Send emails from fake accounts. Sometimes just to say, "I know where you are." I lived like a hunted animal for almost a year. I had 2 choices, keep running, or fight back. I chose to fight. With the help of a local domestic violence nonprofit, I filed for a permanent restraining order. I moved to a new apartment with security. I changed my number. I spoke at survivor panels. I used my story to protect others. And when I turned 19, I legally changed my last name. I was no longer his. He tried one last time. He found my new address and broke in while I was at work. He trashed my kitchen, left a message scratched into the wall. "We're not done." But we were. The police arrested him that night. He was charged with breaking and entering, violating a restraining order, and stalking. This time, he went away for a long time. It's been 3 years since I last saw him. I'm 22 now, in my 3rd year of university, and studying trauma psychology. I volunteer at a shelter for women and children, helping them find their voice the way I found mine. I still go to therapy. I still have nightmares sometimes. But I've learned that healing isn't about forgetting. It's about reclaiming. About knowing that what happened to you doesn't define you, but how you rise from it does. I don't know if my mother is alive. I've tried finding her, but the trail always goes cold. Part of me still waits for her to come back. Another part has learned to move on. When people meet me now, they see a confident young woman. They see strength. What they don't see is the long road behind me, the little girl who used to hide in closets, the bruises hidden under sweaters, the voice that trembled every time someone said my name. But she's still there, inside me. Not broken, but brave. I write to her sometimes, in my new journal. "Dear little Aisha. You made it. I'm so proud of you. You were never weak. You were surviving. And now? Now, you're thriving." This story is for every child who grew up in fear. Your past does not define your future. You are worthy of safety, of peace, of love, and above all, of freedom.